Hey guys, hope you all well out there. So in this paper, I'll be doing a full paper breakdown of the 2017 Key Stage 2 SATS, and this is for Maths Paper 3. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into it. So of course, on the front of the page, you must always fill out your names, your date of birth, school name, and of course the DFE number. Probably your school teachers will fill this out for you or tell you about it. Then you got a blank page, and of course it's very vital in your exam to read the instructions. So when you're sitting the 2018 or 2019 etc. paper, you must read this clearly. So it says here that you have 40 minutes to complete this test. We're going to try and do this in 30 minutes. If we can, that is. No, fingers crossed. So follow instructions for each question. Work as quickly and as carefully as you can. If you need to do working out, you could use the space around the question, and definitely do not write in any barcodes. Okay, so you got these boxes like this, most likely the pink box. Do your working out in here, and then write your finals and in the massive empty shaded cell. So let's jump in. Number one, write the missing number to make this division correct. So 75 divided by something should give you 7.5. Well, if you look closely, you could see that 7.5 could be multiplied by 10 to give you 75. So you could divide this by 10 to get 7.5. So it must be 10. Oops, let's get my pen out. So this should be 10. Easy. A group of friends earn £80 by washing cars. They share the money equally, so they get £16 each. How many friends are in the group? Well, because they share it equally, you could simply divide the numbers. So I would do 80 divided by 16. And I'll keep reducing this till I get how many friends there are. So to simplify this, you could, because of fractions, you can cancel down by halving both. So you can get 40 over 8. I mean, this is another way to do division, which I find easier. Half again, you get 20 over 4. And then you can see that 20 divided by 4 should give you 5. So this will be easy. So the answer is 5. So there are 5 friends in the group. Number 3. Chen uses these digit cards. So you got 5, 6, and 9. She makes it. She makes a 2-digit number and a 1-digit number. She decides to multiply them together, and the answer is a multiple of 10. So let's think about it. How to get a multiple of 10? Well, we know that in the 5 times table, it's a lot easier to get a multiple of 10 because your answers will end in 0 or 5. However, if you multiply by a D is 6 or 9, it's a lot more difficult. So I'm going to assume that her single digit will be 5. Now, what answer, if you multiply by 5, will give you a multiple of 10? Well, if we did 5 times 6, this should give us 30. So yes, it's a multiple of 10. If she did 5 times 9, this will give us 45. No, not a multiple of 10. So we know for sure that the unit must be 6. So 5 times 6 will give you 30. So this number does not matter because when you multiply by the tens, it doesn't really affect units too much. So yeah, so it'll be 96 times 5. Alright, so the graph shows the temperature in Celsius degrees from 2 a.m. to 3 p.m. in a cold day. Ooh, man, it's chapping down here. I wonder what country this is. Probably Slovakia or something in Eastern Europe. Or maybe the UK. Probably it's the UK. How many degrees warmer was it at 3 p.m. than at 3 a.m.? Okay, so first things first, let's look at 3 p.m. Where are we? So we're here, and we can see we're at 2 degrees. Whereas at 3 a.m. we're here, so we're at -5. So we have to count down from 2 to -5. So I will look on the side. We need to go 2 down, and then 5 down. So that makes a total of 7. So that it was basically 7 degrees warmer by the time it was 3 p.m. At 6 p.m., the temperature was 4 degrees lower at 3 p.m. What was the temperature at 6 p.m.? So it was lower, 4 degrees lower. So that means from here, from 3 p.m., when it went to 6 p.m., we went 4 degrees lower. So we're here. So yeah, if you count 4, so that's it. So the answer is -2. So this would be -2 degrees Celsius. So we don't know where it lands, but somehow it goes here. So we say the temperature is -2. All right, cool. All right, question 5. So we got children at Farmfield School are collecting money for charity. Now this is a great school, nice kids. The target is to collect £360. So take note of that. So far, they've collected £57.73. How much more money do they need to reach this target of £360? Well, you could just subtract and get your answer, or you could try and be a bit more clever and realize that if we increase this amount to £60, then you just need an extra 300. So what I would do is see how much I need to get the £60 first. Well, you know what? Let's just do the full working out because we're going to do this anyway. So we put 360 on the top and then 57.73. And we just subtract. So we realize that we cannot subtract this column, so we need to borrow from the next non-zero, which is 6. So if we cancel from the 6, we're going to get 5, and we're going to pass a 1 here. So now we've got 10. We need to borrow from the 10, this becomes a 9, and we give the 1 here. And again, borrow from the 10 becomes a 9, and therefore this will become 10. Let me make it clearer. So now we've got 10 take away 3, which is 7. 9 take away 7 is 2. Oopsie. Is 2 points. So line up your decimal points to always line them up. 9 take away 7 is 2 again. 5 take away 5 is nothing, and we just drop the 3 down. So your answer is, so the kids need 302.27. So £302.27. Nice. So William wants to travel to Paris by train. So he needs to arrive in Paris by 5:30 p.m. Circle the latest time that William can leave. So we need to think about the latest time he can leave London to get to Paris by 5:30. So what you want to do is look on the Paris column and see the time in the 24-hour clock. So just a note, 5:30 p.m. is the same as 17:30, because you can just simply add 12 to the hours column if you're working in PMs. If it's AM, well, it's going to be the same time. So we need to get there by 17:30. So if we look carefully, we can get there by 17:26. But if we chose 17:53, this will be too late. So by this column, so these ones will be too late. So the only correct answer would be is to leave London at this time to get there before 7:30. And that's it. Number 7. So here is a triangle drawn on the coordinate grid below. Okay, so here's a triangle in the bottom left quadrant. The triangle is translated 7 right and 7 up. So translated means it just simply shifts, it moves 7 across, 5 up. Draw the triangle in its new position. Okay, so let's think about it. So let's have a try. So we're going to start from the bottom right corner, the bottom left corner. Let's move it 7 across. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So be here and going up, how many up? 5 up. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means its new position from the bottom left corner will be here. So if we draw the rest of the shape, we can see that it stretches 3 across. So it will end over here. And then it stretches 3 up, and it means it will end over here. And that's it. Now we just draw the shape. So you guys should use a ruler for this, just for the sake of it. So I'm going to try and draw a straight line if I can. Oops. Hold on. Oopsie. Alright, I guess it's not so easy. I'm going to just do it free roam. So, try and go down this way. Oh god, this one's going to be impossible. Oh wow, that's awful. So guys, make sure you have a nice ruler and don't do like me. Yeah, here we go. So it should look something like that, but with a ruler, obviously. That's it. So let's move on. Okay, so number 8. So write down 3 factors of 30 that are not factors of 15. Well, what I would do is list out every single factor of 30 and then just check and then cross out the ones that are factors of 15. So keep the ones that are not. So from 30, let's break it down. So we know that 1 times 30, so 1 and 30 are factors. 2 and 15. So what else can we make to make 30? 3 and 10. 4, nope. 5 and 6. And that's it, yeah. So we know that these are all factors of 30. And which ones here are not factors of 15? Well, 30 clearly isn't a factor of 15. What else isn't a factor of 15? 1 is, yes. 2 is not a factor of 15. So that's 2 and 30. 15 is, and also 10 is not a factor of 15. And that's it. So make sure it's a nice 10. Okay, number 9. So here is the morning timetable for Chen's class this week. Well, Chen's got a lot to do this week. What is the total number of hours for English on this timetable? So let's check out. So between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., so this is 1.5 hours of lesson. She does English on Tuesday and Thursday, so that's two English lessons on this day. And because they're both 1.5 hours, if you add them up, it'll be 3 hours here. Now, between 10:30 and 11 is break time, so there's nothing here. But between 11 and 12, that's exactly an hour. And she does English once, twice, so she does it 2. So 1 hour make 2 hours. That means if we add up all the hours here, 3, 0, and 2, you should get 5. All right, easy actually, very easy. So a bottle contains 568 milliliters of milk. Jack pours half a liter. So remember, in a liter, there is 1,000 milliliters. 1,000 milliliters in a liter. So that means half of it would contain 500 milliliters. That would be half. So Jack pours out half a liter, so she subtracts half, 500 from this amount. So 568, take away 500, well, this will cancel out, so you're left with 68. So 68 is left. I'll just write milliliters in case. It's best you write the full answer. A bicycle wheel has a diameter of 64 centimeters. What is the radius? Okay, so if you guys know, or if you're not sure, this is talking about a circle. So in other words, a wheel is a circle. So what I would do, draw out in a circle, and then draw a straight line connecting any circle. So let's say from, okay, it's kind of, all right. You know, this is quite hard to draw circles here. I'll stick the pen again. So you just draw a straight line, a very straight line, not like this. And then a radius is pretty much half the length of the diameter. So the whole length is 64, the radius is half of it. So the whole length is D, yeah? Which is 64, and this is half. So half of 64 would equal, well, half of 60 is 30, and half of 4 is 2, so it's 32. Oh, should be quite quick actually. So you got 24 white balloons here and 12 red balloons, okay? Number 12. So Adam buys 6 bags of white balloons. He buys 6 lots of these. So this is 6 times 24, just to make it clear. Whereas Chen buys 3 bags of red balloons. So 3 times 12. Adam says, I have 4 times as many balloons as Chen. Explain why Adam's correct. Okay, let's work out the sum. So we need to prove that the factors between both of these is 4 times bigger. So what is, let's do the top one, 6 times 24. Well, 6 times 20 is 120. You can do 6 times 2 is 12 and add a 0. Plus 6 times 4 is 24. So that makes 144. Whereas 3 times 12 is, just simple 12 times is 36. Now we need to show that 144 is 4 times bigger. So if you add up 36 4 times, or do 36 times 4, you should get, well, 3 times 4 is 12, then you add a 0 because it's on the tens, plus 6 times 4 is 24, and yes, you get exactly 124. So the answer, so to explain it, so for the sake of completion, I'm going to write it down. Okay, so let's get a pen. Okay, so we know Adam buys 6 bags of white balloons, and this gives him a total of 6 times, well, I can't do a time sign here, so the star means times. I shall write word 6 times 4, 6 times 24, which equals 144 balloons. Chen buys 3 bags of red balloons, and this gives her a total of 3 times 12, which equals 36 balloons. Since 144 divided by 36 equals 4 times, then Adam is correct. Okay, that's it. You could do that, or 36 times 4, same thing. So let's move on. Alright, so number 13. Oops, I don't need this anymore. Number 13. So circle the pentagon with exactly 4 acute angles. So acute angles means angles are less than 90 degrees, yeah? So less than 90 degrees. So, and a pentagon means 5 sides. So firstly, cross out any non-pentagon shapes. So I can already see 2. This shape looks way too big to be pentagon. There's more than 5 sides. And this one has more than 5 sides. I think they're hexagons actually. Okay, so that leaves us with 3. And there's only, it goes circle the pentagon. So there's only one correct answer. Alright, so let's have a look. So this one has, well, they look quite wide. So this doesn't look like it's 4 acute angles. They all look the same. I think it's a regular pentagon. This one has 1 acute angle here, so 1. This looks wide, so this is, well, this is wrong. There's no way it has 4, because it's 2 right angles. This one looks right, because you can see you got 2 acutes here and 2 acutes here. So these guys is the correct answer. Good. So double checking, so make sure you label to show you're working out. Number 14. You could do, if you're still watching this video, give yourself a pat on the back because you're doing amazingly well. Okay, we're almost done, so keep focused. So we know that 3 pineapples cost the same as 2 mangoes, and they drew it nicely there. 1 mango costs £1.35, so this is £1.35. This is also £1.35 then. How much does 1 pineapple cost? Well, if we think about it, if we add these two together, the 2 mangoes, that would be the same price as 3 pineapples. Then we just divide it by 3 to find 1. So adding up the 2 mangoes, £1.35 plus £1.35, you should get, well, 5 and 5 makes 10, carry the 1. Let me just do a line here actually. 1 plus 3 gives you 7, and 1 add 1 is 2, so £2.70. Now dividing this by 3 will find the cost of a single pineapple. 0.70. So 3 into 2 goes 0 times, so you carry the 2, so it becomes 27. 3 into 27 goes perfectly 9 times with no remainders. That means 3 into 0 is 0. So this means each one costs 90p. So in pounds it will be 0.9t, so 90 pence. Cool. Alright, so 15, look at the letters below. Circle the letter below that has both parallel and perpendicular lines. So parallel means that they're going in the same direction. Perpendicular means going in this 90 degrees angle, so it makes a perfect 90 degree shape. So like an L, for example, this makes a perpendicular turn, or right angle is the correct word. Now, which one has both? Well, A clearly doesn't have anything. C definitely has nothing. E, yes, looks like it's got parallel lines. The E's are parallel, and this is perpendicular. L, nope. Z, definitely nope. So your answer is E. Right, question 16. So now we're working with leaflets. So there are 2,400 leaflets in a box. God, that's a lot for whoever's distributing them. William and Ali take 450 each. Adam and Chen share the rest of the leaflets equally. How many leaflets does Adam get? Okay, so it seems interesting. So if they both, so let's break it down easily. So because William and Ali take 450 each, that means they take a total of, so 450 at 450 should give you 900. So then we remove 900 from the box. So let's do that first to see how many is left. So 4,400 minus 900. God, this 4 looks like a 9. Then we subtract. So this is clearly nothing. So 24 take away 9 should give us 15. So simple maths. So that means Adam and Chen share the rest of these equally. So that means they're dividing this by 2 because it's 2 people. So we need to share 1,500 by 2 people. And then we should get the amount for 1. So firstly, 2 can't go into 1, so it goes, so you carry the 1, so it'll be 2 into 15. 2 into 15 goes exactly 7 times because 2 times 7 is 14. Remainder 1. So 2 into 10 goes exactly 5 times with no remainder, and 2 to 0 goes nothing. So that's it. So the answer is 750. This is how many Adam would get and how many Chen would also get. Perfect. So in each box, circle a number that is greater. Well, 1.5, and we got 1.2. I would work out in decimals. I think that's easier. Because the half is easy. We know half is the same as 0.5. So 1.5 is 1.5. Clearly 1.5 is bigger. So circle. Now 1 and 1/4, 1.3. A quarter is 0.25, so this is 1.25. And because you got two digits, I would change 1.3 by adding a 0, because you're allowed to do that with decimals. So 1.3 is what you can think as 30. 30 is bigger than 25, so 1.3 clearly bigger. Oh, 5/100ths. So 5/100ths, because you're dividing by 100, we need to have two zeros before the 5, so it'll be 0.05. So, and then because it's got 1 in front, you add this to 1, so it'll be 1.05. So now, if we compare 1.05 to 1.4, because there's two numbers, we need to add two decimals, so 1.40. Again, 1.4, so 40 is clearly bigger than 5, so it's 1.4. Let me just check something. Yep, greater. So always check your answer, always check what the question wants again. Sometimes it's easy to forget. Now, 3/5. Now this is a challenge one. Sometimes if you don't know what a fifth is, you should always divide, for example, 5 into 3, and then you're going to realize it's nothing, and then you carry the 3, it'll be 5 into 30. So 5 into 30 gives 6. So this tells you that this value is exactly 0.6. So this is 1.6. And yes, 1.6 is bigger, so it's 1/3. So I mean, this is just a short way to do it. You can do the same over here, but 100 into 5, well, you should know this. We should try and make sure we memorize these kind of problems easily. So yeah, let's move on, guys, to number 18. So what's it saying here? So we got a square number and a prime number have a total of 22. What are the two numbers? Well, firstly, let's list out square numbers here, up until 22. So we got 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and then 5 squared is 25. So we don't need that. So we got 4 numbers to choose from. Now prime numbers, well, they start from 2, and there's numbers that only divide by itself on 1. So we got 2, 3, 5, 7, not 9, 11, 13. So you have a lot of choices. 15, no. 17, yes. 19, yes. 20, and that's it. So these are your prime numbers and your square numbers. So I always start with the biggest square number and see if I can match any number below it. So 16 and 2, nope. 3, nope. 5 will make 21, nope. So 16 can't work. How about 9? 9 and what would make 22? 9 and 2, 3, nope. 5 will make 14. This will make 16. 9 and 11 will make 20. 9 and 13 will make 22. And that's it. Your answer is 9 and 13. So this is very helpful. I always recommend you write down the list of all your numbers and start with the smaller group with the biggest value, and then keep on going down. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, number 19. So Dev thinks of a whole number. He multiplies it by 4, and he then rounds his answer to the nearest 10, and the result became 50. So write all possible numbers that Dev could start with. Okay, so when I do these kind of problems, I always treat the unknown as x. I always call this unknown number x. So we know that we multiply x by 4, so we get 4 lots of x. He then rounds his answer to the nearest 10, and then this result should give him about 50 or so. Write down all the possible numbers that Dev could have started with. So what we could do is to probably work out the value of x, and to do some basic algebra, you just simply have to divide both sides by 4 to find x. So dividing by 4 will give us x equals 50 divided by 4. Now, if you work this out, we can. So we can divide both sides by 2, we get 25 over 2. And then we can realize that half of 25 should give us 12.5. So because he started with a whole number, we need to pick answers around 12.5 and multiply by 4 to get an answer to the nearest 10, which should give us 50. So let's have a go. Let's start with 12 here. So let's say, what's 4 times 12? 4 times 12 is 48. And if you round it to the nearest 10, you should get 50. Now, how about, let's try 4 times 13. So 4 times 10 is 40, 4 times 3 is 12, so 40 plus 12 should give us 52. And if you round to the nearest 10, it becomes 50. So yep, so 13 works and 12 works. So what else could it be? So I'm just working around the decimal. So what if we tried out before 12? Let's try 4 times 11. Well, 4 times 11 is easy, is 44. To the nearest 10, it becomes 40. So nope, it can't be this. How about 4 times 14 above? Well, 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 4 is 16. Add them up, you get 56, and this rounds up to 60. So nope, this is also not good. So that means your only final answers could be 12 and 13. And I believe that's it. 12 and 13. Well, that was this was definitely a challenging question. So whoever did this right, give yourself a pat on the back. This is a bit tricky. So well done. So a square tile measures 20 by 20. Okay, so that gives us an area. So 20 times 20 should give us an area of 400 centimeters squared, just to get on top of this. A rectangular tile is 3 centimeters longer and 2 centimeters narrower than a square tile. What is the difference in area between the two tiles? So if it's 3 centimeters longer, that means one side has now become, instead of 20, it's become 23 centimeters. Whilst if another side is narrower, it means it's become shorter. So 20 subtract 2 will give us 18. Now, let's work out the area of this, and then that way we can subtract the total areas to find the difference. So 23 times 18, let's have a go at that. So let's make our life easier. So to do 23 times 18, I don't want to do the column method. I'm just going to break it up. So let's do 23 times 10 first. So 23 times 10 first, and then 23 times 8. What does it give us? 23 times 10 is 230. Ooh, and 23 times 8 is not as easy. So, okay, maybe I will use a column method there. So you could do it another way, but just to make our life easy, let's do it here. So 23 times 8 is easy. So 3 times 8 is 24, carry the 2. And 8 times 2 is 16, add 2 is 184. So then we just add up these two numbers. So adding up these numbers, so 230 plus 184 is quite simple. So nothing plus 4 is 4, 3 and 8 to make 11, 1, 2 and 1 make 4. So we get 414. Now if we compare the areas, well, this is easy maths. 414 centimeters squared, take away 400 will just give us 14. So the difference is only 14. Not too bad, so the investment sounds pretty worth it if it's the same price. 21. The numbers in the sequence increase by the same amount each time. Write the missing numbers. So if they increase by the same amount, that means we can find just one difference. So between 1 and 5, 1 5/8, you can see it's clearly increased by 5/8. So let's put plus 5/8. And again, from the next one, it also increased by 5/8. So all we have to do is increase this one by 5/8 too. So let's try it down here. So we have 2 1/4 plus 5/8. Well, the easiest way to do it is that you need to have common denominators. So to make common denominators, we need to make raise 4, multiply 4 to get 8. So we can double these numbers, double a quarter to make 2/8. So then they have the same denominator. So we can have 2/8 plus 5/8. So remember, we double this here, up and down. So this means we can just add the top values. So 2 add 5 makes 7, so we're left with 2 wholes and 7/8. And yeah, that's actually it. So 2 7/8. Now how about the one previously? Well, remember we were adding 5/8, so if we're going to go back to a number, we need to subtract 5/8 from 1. And if you think about it, to make a whole number 1, we'll need 3/8 to add to 5/8 to make 1. So this would be 3/8. We'll have the remainder. And that's it. Hope this helps, and let's move on. So question 22. In this diagram, the shaded rectangles are all of equal width W. So the length is W now. Calculate the width W of one shaded rectangle. So let's think about it. This is telling us that W plus 34 is obviously equal to 18 plus W plus 9 plus another W. So we could say, we can make an equation. So the first equation would be W plus 34 must be equal to, what do we have at the bottom? We've got 18 and 9 make 27. W and W make 2W. So we're going to have this is equal 27 plus 2W. Right. We can solve this algebraically. So what I would do is put all the W's on one side. So let's eliminate. Let's subtract 1W on both sides. If we subtract 1W, this disappears and this one becomes a single W. If we subtract 27, this will disappear and this will become 7. So we're left with 7 equals W. And yes, that is the answer. W is 7 centimeters. Conveniently. Now, moving on to 23. So here is a pattern of number pairs. So A and B, so 1 and 9 go together, 2 and 19, 3 and 29. So you can see the end for B's are all have 9s and this goes up in 1s. So complete the rule for the number pattern. So B would equal, let's have a look. So what happens here? Actually, I can see a pattern. If we round this up to 10, this would be 10, 20, 30, and 40. All they really did is that they multiplied A by 10 and subtracted 1 every time. So B would be, how many times A? It will be 10 times A minus 1. That would be the formula. Easy. 24. Let me, how many questions are there? Oh, that's it. Last one is 24. So cube A and B have the same volumes. So A has a volume of 6 times 6 times 6. Remember, the cubes have the same length. So this gives us a volume of 6 cubed. Remember, 6 3 means 6 cubed. Or you can just say 6 times 6 times 6. Whilst shape B has a volume of 6 times 4 times an unknown. So this is 6 times 4 times an unknown. And they both have the same volume. So actually, they're both equal. So work out the missing length from B. This is straightforward. So if they're both equal, that means we can just, simplify terms. So if we go 6 times 6 times 6 equals 6 times 4 times unknown. Because they both have at least a 6, we can cancel 6's on both sides. So that goes and that goes. This tells us we have 6 times 6 is equal to 4 times something. So let's write down. 6 times 6 equals 4 times an unknown. Well, we can work it out. We know 6 times 6 is 36. So 36 must equal 4 times something. Well, if you know your times table, we should know that 4 times 9 will give you 36. So your final answer would be, for the missing length, has to be 9. So clearly, the answer is 9 centimeters. And that's it, guys. I hope this video helped. And if it did, give me a big like and share with your friends.